Hello, my name is Melissa Jarrett. I'm an Indiana State University nursing student. Welcome to my educational presentation, Rescuing Our Heroes, Suicide Prevention for Veterans. Before we get started with the presentation, please take a few minutes to complete the pretest and test your knowledge on the information that we're going to be presenting in the presentation today. Learning objectives for this presentation are first to describe the demographics of the veteran population in the United States, identify factors that contribute to veteran suicide, list the barriers that veterans face in seeking assistance, identify the warning signs of suicide, list community resources available for assistance, identify barriers to community awareness, and identify prevention resources. There are 20.7 million veterans in the United States at this time, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. 18.9 million of those are males and 1.8 million of those are females. The predominant race ethnicity in the veteran population is going to be white, with the service era that has the most veterans currently being the very top Vietnam era. Veteran suicide has been labeled as a topic of conversation since the 2018 report, in which the average number of veteran suicides per day was 17.6. according to the National Strategy for Preventing Veteran Suicide. Today, approximately 20 veterans die by suicide each day. The trends in veteran suicide are identified as follows. The highest rates seem to be in the western states, with the largest number of cases, of course, being in the areas that are most densely populated. Over half of all suicide deaths with veterans are caused by firearm injuries. Ages 18 to 29 seem to be at the highest risk for suicide attempt, while ages 50 and older are the highest in suicide deaths. Suicide risks and warning signs that we need to be aware of. Warning signs are feeling hopeless, trapped, or like there is no way out. Having persistent or worsening trouble sleeping or eating, feeling anxious or agitated, feeling like there's no reason to live, feeling of rage or anger, engaging in risky activities without thinking of consequences, increasing alcohol or drug misuse, and withdrawing from family and friends. There are some warning signs and risk factors that require immediate intervention. You notice that they've voiced a plan for how and when to attempt suicide. You notice frequent conversations about death or dying. If they're engaging in increased reckless activities. You noticed increased violent behavior. Feelings of uncontrolled rage or revenge. Giving away possessions. Putting affairs in order. Or seeking access to firearm, pills, or any other self-destructive behavior. Some of the barriers for seeking help for suicide thoughts and ideations are as follows. Veterans may be very hesitant to speak to just anyone about their problems. They may feel that they're required to suck it up and ignore the illness. They may not be aware that their behavior has changed or escalated. Veterans may feel that they will be made to feel their concerns are minimized or not important. And veterans may not know where to start in asking for help, or may fear losing their children, jobs, home, or livelihood if they ask for help. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has published a report on working together to implement the VA's public health model for suicide prevention. This model basically takes community-based resources and clinically based resources to provide a full public health model with several different strategies. The first strategy is to provide lethal means safety education, securing firearms, medication, other items to save lives. We want to make sure that they don't have access to those lethal means, and that if they do, that we can intervene in a timely manner. Strategy 2, caring for veterans in specific medical populations. The goal here would be to promote suicide screening and management of medical bad news in specific populations that may be at risk. Strategy 3, re-engage prior users of veterans' health benefits, directly reaching veterans. You conduct outreach and encourage prior users to re-engage in that type of care. Strategy 4, suicide prevention program enhancement. Establish and improve processes for identifying and intervening with veterans at increased risk. Strategy 5, reaching all veterans through powerful messages of hope. Nearly 20 million veterans in 2 national campaigns. Reach veterans inside and outside VA to engage them in treatment and access to needed services. By completing all of these strategies, it is the hope of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs that we can see that 20 veteran suicides a day decrease significantly. Some identified barriers to community involvement include the very fact that our veterans are placed in a role of hero in society prevents us from seeing their vulnerability. Each soldier has to survive his or her own battle. We need to talk about suicide. We need to make sure that they always know the helplines. We need to realize that they are human. Social media can also play an influence. This can create increased depression and loneliness for someone that is already feeling isolated. We truly do need to value human interactions for what they have the opportunity to do for others. Some identified prevention resources for veterans, of course, is the Veterans Crisis Line. It is available 24/7 and caters specifically to military and veteran personnel. You also have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. This is available for any and all members of the population that may be going through crisis or people in distress, or looking for resources for you or your loved ones for any given time or crisis intervention that you may require. Then there are suicide prevention resources for military and veterans that include Vets for Warriors, In Transition, the Office of Warrior Care Policy, Military One Source, and Strategy Assistance Program for Survivors. Now that we've completed the education presentation for prevention of suicide in veterans, please take a few minutes to test your comprehension of the information provided by utilizing the link below. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you next time.